The Tilt interview.
We are live.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of The Tilt interview. I have with me Bradley Marsh, who's new to everything.
Yep. brand new to the music scene. Yeah.
So, give us an intro, Brad. Let us know who you are and what you do.
So I'm Bradley Marsh. I've been writing music since I was very, very young. I think about 16. And I've always been into metal, though. It was always metal in high school and stuff like that. And it's funny because I've seen a lot of these posts where kids are saying that, metal does help with mental, stuff like that, mental illness and things like that, and like a sense of calm and things like that. I'm like, yeah, it really does, because like I grew up with a bunch of bands, like literally just listening to bands, and then people that wanted to, they idolized these bands and wanted to be artists like them. So like, and even in high school and stuff, a lot of the groups were getting, like, all these people were formulating groups, whether they were metal or the screaming scene, all the different types of metal scenes going on, the punk rock and stuff. And we would literally have a battle of bands, and that was a big thing. Like, everybody was like, oh, I got to be on battle of the bands in high school. So that was the thing. Yeah.
major difference to the UK there then. I mean,
yeah, it was wild. Like,
I'm 41, just so we get the idea of the age range. Because how old are you now? So
I'm 33. Yeah,
33. So not a major difference, but obviously in that 10-year ish era, we had the grunge era in the 90s. Yeah. I wasn't into it, to be perfectly honest.
I think I was a bit into it. Yeah,
I was into R&B and rap. So,
oh,
so,
yeah.
Bear in mind, that was a step up, because prior to that, I was into pop music.
Yeah.
Synth pop and all that, anything in the charts, because that was me. I haven't really fallen in love with rock until recently, in the last 5 years or so. I mean, really fallen back. So yeah, we had, if I recall, in our school, a sort of a battle of the bands going on. Bear with me a second. I've got.
No problem.
I'll edit that burp out. Sorry.
Yeah, no, it's a problem.
Yeah, we had some talent contests that went on in our senior school, and there was a battle of the bands. A friend of mine was a drummer of a group called Sick Little Monkey.
Oh, cool.
I designed their poster, which was literally just a monkey puking, which was
Sick Little Monkey.
Yeah. And I'll be honest, I can't remember the other band that they fought against on the talent contest, but it was a Sick Little Monkey did "You Give Love a Bad Name," and the other band did La Bamba, and it was
right on
different, So there you go.
Yeah.
That's the nearest it got to battle of the bands in the UK, at least the UK in my school. So,
well, it's funny that you mentioned pop too, because I love Euro pop, which is completely different from the pop that we have around here, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of that stuff, I can say myself though, a lot of that stuff did influence punk and things like that. Like, look at groups like Ace of Base and stuff. They had dark parts, like, you know what I mean? She would sing about her life, and there'd be really dark ambient stuff going on in the background. So a lot of that kind of influenced it. But yeah, like for here, I don't know what it was. Like, nobody really knew of music until people did these battle of the bands things. It happened at all the high schools, and these kids and people would go nuts. There were little mosh pits and things like that. I think what had happened was they actually cut doing it because of the fights, because the moshes would get really, really rough. Yeah. But yeah, like many different groups, I think that's actually how I met my co-writer Jay as well, is from these things, because they would perform at the school or whatever. And not only that, you could so there's the battle of the bands, but if your band had recordings, they would play it on the announcements. So you'd be getting ready for school or whatever, and they'd play, your band would be playing, and they're like, oh, up next is this. You might know them from class, whatever. So it was really cool. That was kind of what clicked everybody together in the music scene, like in our areas. So
that really does make my school life sound incredibly bland.
Yeah, very different time. Yeah.
Like the most we ever did was pass each other tapes that we'd done.
Oh, like tapes, yeah.
Oh yeah. Yes, tapes. We used to use tapes, kids. Those are literally things that I'll tell you what. I'll edit in what a tape looks like, because no one knows. You briefly mentioned just now, obviously, your co-writer. Tell us who your co-writer is, because I'm sure the viewers are already aware of who this person is.
I think many people already know who he is. He's Jason Petrolia of 12 Years Today. So like obviously he has his own band, but he is a writer. So like he writes for other artists. I needed a writer. I wanted to start my own band, and I literally just reached out to him. I told him what I was looking for, and we just hit it off with the writing, and it went really, really well. Yeah.
How long you known each other then?
Oh, we've known each other for years and years and years. So going back into the high school days. Cool. So that's where I would have met him and stuff. It was funny back then. I wasn't really good at anything. Like I wasn't even good at singing. I was so highly interested in it because I was like, oh man, I want to do that. I want to be that. Yeah. So up until this year, I really got in tune with my own voice. I was more happier singing and writing and lyrics and stuff. But yeah, like just writing about life. He more just likes to be known as, production and stuff like that, because that's what it is. Like he basically got together and we would write the stuff and he produced it. So he was just like, happy to help me out so that I could get on a head start and then find a band possibly. That's COVID thing. It's wild because it's hard for people like me and myself. Like I just started. I just recorded my very first EP solo, and it's like you can't put things out looking for members or anything now because of this COVID. So it's kind of like I don't know what to do until this thing blows over. So right now it's a lot of self promo and a lot of hard work. Yeah.
Absolutely. But on the plus side, you've had the time to sort of organize yourself in this last year, haven't you?
Yeah. And Twitter has been a good thing. Like a lot of people mentioned, try Twitter and whatever. And I was like tweeting. I wasn't really into it. I heard the whole thing because that was a big thing in school. We used to make fun of Twitter. Yeah. So later on, they're just like, no, it actually is a good business, promotional marketing and all that. And I'm like, all right, well, give it a go. And I've set up an account, and we made a ton of fans, which was really, really cool in a short period of time. And it's just through sharing and, and also not only that, it's good to share, but also get into what other people are into too. So like, they'll be like, oh, well, you shared your song, let hear mine out or whatever. So it's a big community that seems to be, it's very positive community. Cause I mean, like, that's why a lot of us we're dropping Facebook now like flies because Facebook is so full of animosity, It's
a funny thing because I've said this before. This is technically, I believe, probably my fourth Twitter account.
Oh, really?
Yeah, as in the first one was like, oh look, I can follow this celebrity, and I chat to them, even though knowing that they probably got 100,000 people chatting to them the same day, and if I got a response, I'd be cool. But then obviously I never got a response.
Yeah, exactly.
Then I deleted it because I thought there's no point. Then I basically had it again because someone said, "Oh, meet me on Twitter for blah blah." So I did, and then it just became like a shit post account.
Oh shit, eh?
So then it got a bit toxic, and I thought, you know what, I can't do this anymore. Got rid of it. Did another one because I had to keep up with gaming news, and then I soon got rid of that one. And now I've gone in. I say fourth time lucky. It should be. It's music based. I disregard politics. I don't talk about it. I don't go.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not even, I've been so far away from all that because the thing is, why cloud your mind with all it's all negative. There's nothing positive. So the good thing about Twitter is I don't think I've met, I mean, some people can name off some, but I have not yet met somebody negative on Twitter. It's been a very positive experience for me. It's been a positive experience for other artists.
The indie music scene on Twitter is alive and
it's amazing. And you know what? Passionate. People are so supportive. Supportive. Yeah.
Absolutely. I've found so much music on there. I've talked to so many new bands, and The response is great. I mean, you know, Tilt itself, I'm up to episode 10 coming Tuesday. And it's just been phenomenal. I mean, I spent my first year at Indie Rocks doing Decades Rock History, which was more or less mainstream stuff.
Oh, that's cool.
From 1950 all the way through. So I've got over a year's worth of content. So my production value got a bit better. So by the time when Tilt came on, it sounded really, really professional. And I honestly thought I was going to struggle, thinking, oh, you know, how am I going to get like new music each week?
Yeah.
Now, last week I took a week off because I was burned out.
Yeah.
I come back and I've got so many new music submissions. I'm like, oh no. Then I've got to fit an interview in as well. So we'll get it. We'll get it. And then of course, issues with certain bands that have occurred in the last few days, which we're not going to discuss tonight. But
no problem. Well, and Twitter would be the perfect place to do that because I mean, Twitter is, I guess, like our headspace for new independent musicians and things like that, because that's the thing, like it's harder to get on labels. You really got to push yourself and get out there and stuff. And not only that, not a lot of independent musicians want to be on labels because there's a lot we can do ourselves. You don't need to be on a label per se, you know.
It's the funny thing, that's what's changed my perspective of it all. In the last few months, because I always thought, you know, the idea of getting into music was to make the music and like make the money, get rich and be famous. But you know, the majority of you guys you're doing it because you're passionate about the songs, and we
just love music.
You hear it in the music, you can feel it. And I remember sitting down with the lads of 12 Years Today talking about, would you ever do this and that? And they were like, no, you know, we're doing this for us. And that makes more sense to me now.
Yeah.
Because, you know, the music industry has changed somewhat. I mean, I never realized there was an independent thing.
Yeah.
That's the weird part. And that's where I am now. I'm promoting as many people as possible on my very small following on my radio station.
It's nice. It's growing.
I like it. It is growing. It's going to get. And the response I get from the guys that send me music is fantastic, and the music itself is brilliant.
Oh yeah, and I have. I have to.
Go, you go.
I'm sorry about that. I have to say though, like even after meeting my co-writer and producer, like I've never met somebody so passionate towards music making and the music scene. Like I never have. Like it's amazing. Like everything he puts into it shows, and we always tell him, right? Like there's me and other friends of his, and we're like, man, like you don't know how good your quality of the production and your writing is. And that's a lot of us artists too. Like people be like, oh man, that was great, you did such a good singing job, or you did such a good guitar work. And it's like we don't see it as the artist because we're always picking on ourselves, right? So we're always nitpicking.
Your own worst critic.
That's what it is too. But no, he's really good, man. Like when I first heard the stuff now compared to when we were kids, because as you're getting involved in this and learning, you're always learning more. You know what I mean? So you're always getting better the next year, and then the next year and next year. So when I came to him and I said, oh, like I'm looking at like this was literally my last shot, because I mean I've been spending a lot of time with YouTube. So I was like, I want to do music again, man, and I want to give it one last shot. And I knew that there was only one person that could possibly pull it off and write stuff that's mine and his alley, and stuff that we could really there's no clashing at all. And that was another thing too. You go into his studio and you're in a band, and the bands all have their point of views, and it's like there's too many points of views, you can't come up with an agreement. But with me and my co-writer producer, it was like, yeah, that's what we're doing. Like he could just show me something and I'd be like, yeah, that's it right there. That's hard to come by, because I mean we're all picky people. Like we want, like I want the money song, I want the song that sounds good. But when you meet your writer, because like everybody has a co-writer. Like I mean, there's some groups where they do it all alone. I've never been like that kind of person. I like sharing that because it's way too hard doing it all on your own. You need some support. So meeting this guy, it was like, holy shit, that's the one. That's the one. He's like, are you sure? Because and it'd be like that, right? And it's like, no, man, it's really really good. It's just us, our worst critic, right? Like, oh, I have this one, I have that one. It's like, no, we're good.
So there you go,
And
Jay. If you're watching this now, Jay, he loves you, mate. He appreciates you, and so do we. We all do. Well done. Round of applause for Jason. Come on.
Oh yeah.
It's deserved, mate. It really is.
Yeah.
So that's what we're doing this evening. We're obviously discussing new music. Your new music. Mm-hmm. But before we do, because I noticed things and we've briefly touched upon it. Tell us about your YouTube channel.
Oh yeah, so like I do Exploring YouTube channel, Exploring with Brad. We just explore abandoned places all over the province and things like that. That's actually a lot of that's going on in the UK as well. Actually, a lot of people like seeing. We are fascinated by architecture and things like that. So we'll find these old places, 1800s mansions, old hospitals, old relics of the past. So a lot of it's in history, right? We're interested in that. Yeah.
No ghosts though, no.
A little bit, yeah. So some of it involves that as well, and that's actually more new to my stuff, right? Yeah. But that's kind of what I'm more known for. So a lot of people are getting confused. I'm a hobbyist, so like the music is brand new, and but yeah, that's what I was doing for years before that, because I'd really given up music because I was super critical of myself. I was in groups where we got along, but it was like it was too many opinions. And that was from my past band, my Achilles. It's too many opinions. We could never come into agreement. We would clash offhand. And then we have our personal lives. So we're out, doing our jobs or whatever. And you get a message in the group chat. We always have the band group chat, right? And they're like, oh, are you doing this? Are you telling people about this? And it's like, I'm at work. I don't have the time for that, right? So that's why a lot of us have become independent artists, because it's our own time, our own space. We can woosah, Yeah, so.
See, people still believe that just because you've released music and you are a musician, that you're just doing that all the time. No one seems to think, what's he doing today? It's like, oh, I'm driving for Uber Eats this afternoon.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I do. That's my job.
Why would you do that? So why would you do that? You're a musician. So, yes, the arts don't pay. Did you not know this? Did you?
I've noticed that too. A few people from Twitter, they're like, aren't you breaking in money and all that? You got 14,000 views on your song and whatever. And I'm like, no, I'm not making any money, man. It's not what it used to be. That's the thing. Like if you had. Well, like obviously I'm working with this guy, but like if it just say we released this stuff back in the 90s, we probably would have been famous. His 12 years of days, 12 years today would be famous. My group would have been famous because it was just like,
not even as far back as then either. I mean, if you think about it, in the past decade alone, I think YouTube has had the adpocalypse twice.
Yeah.
So those that were actually earning big bucks off YouTube aren't now, but they've already earned their millions. And anyone starting out nowadays is terrible. I even had a channel that I was putting gaming stuff up for a bit, and one afternoon I just uploaded a meme. It's reached nearly 2 million views in the last 5 years. It's just
holy smokes.
This is the thing. It's so silly. And because
people love it though.
Yeah, people loved it, and I suddenly got like 1,200 subscribers to a channel that's dead. But because I had that many subscribers at the time, I could join the YouTube partner program, so I did. And
there you go.
After 1.9 million views, I thought, I wonder how much I'll make off of that. And I signed into it, and it said, "You have made 17 cents." I'm like, oh. Can I withdraw that? No, you have to make $100 first to withdraw that, and then they took it out of the YouTube partner program because you now need X amount of hours. So you can't.
One thing One thing I should bring up that's actually really important in this interview, and I don't think anybody has, is that with Canada, I'm not sure if this is the United States as well, because I don't live there. But I can say with Canada, and I'm going to assume North America, United States as well, is that the rock scene here has changed drastically. I mean, you have groups that say they are rock and they're on MTV and they're not, it's not rock music. They're not bad. And I want to say this, like, I'm not going to get in trouble. They're not bad groups. It's the fact that they're not rock genre. Like Bruno Mars won a rock, rock award of the year in Canada, but that's not rock. And that's why a lot of us have become independent rock musicians, because our fan groups are in the UK, Europe, parts of Japan. You know what I mean? Because these other countries, rock is still rock. Whereas North America, it has changed so drastically. You know what I could say that rock is here now? It's the genre has become the music you listen to when you're going to the gym. You have you have your headphones on and you're there and you're doing cardio or whatever. And you've got like
gym in over a year. You could probably tell. But I know what you mean.
Look good. You look sharp, man. You look sharp.
I'm not standing up though, mate. Jesus, the camera adds 10 pounds, they say, so there must be at least 17 on me at the moment.
Yeah, I must look good then, because I'm pretty skinny in real life. So
mate, you look fine. You look fine.
Yeah,
but yeah, I know what you're saying, because it took me a while to realize that when someone said about indie music, that actually indie itself isn't in itself a genre. It's just independent. However, along with pop music,
doing it yourself.
Along with pop music, which is just short for popular, they become in themselves a genre itself. So in the UK, the indie scene it stuck with the guitars, it stuck with the bands. Then now we've got a couple of like solo artists coming out doing their thing, but it is still within that rock-esque genre that is.
So rock in your country is still, would you consider rock in your country still rock, like the drums, guitars?
I would personally.
Okay.
However, if I'm honest, I don't actually put the radio on anymore. I don't listen to the radio. Long and short of it is because the majority of the stuff they play on the radio these days is just mainstream, is just popular. And if you go onto a rock radio, they're only ever playing like the 70s and 80s classic rock.
Yeah. We have that too. Yeah.
Or they'll kick off and say, here's Nirvana for the 27th time today.
Yeah.
And it just seems daft. The funniest thing I saw the other day was somebody said, when you go on and it says a radio station that say we're playing the best of the 70s, the 80s, and the 90s, and today. And you're like, today? Well, the 90s was 30 years ago. So what's today?
What's today?
What is today? It's like, been one lump of crap, hasn't it? So
exactly.
Well, not crap. No. Obviously, you wouldn't be here if it was crap, because Although that would be interesting if I started doing interviews and and my crap guest today is.
True.
I wouldn't do that. I'm not that kind of person anymore. I've been very, very vocal about everybody's music, and I have not. I'll be honest. I've not said a bad word about anybody's music, because at the end of the day, I'm starting to realize that somebody could put something together, and if it's not my taste, that doesn't mean it's rubbish. And
that's what I get at too, is that it's all. I mean, for me, sometimes
you've made it. I can't do it. So
exactly.
Why? What's my excuse for not doing it? Well, I know I can't do it, but then at the end of the day, I can't really turn around and critique somebody on something that I can't do. So I think a lot of people need to be a bit more humble, things like that. It's like, not to the point of like, oh, congratulations, you've done a good job there. I mean,
Yeah.
Don't be condescending to people. You can tell if a song's not your cup of tea, you can at least tell that the person who's produced it has put a lot of passion into it, and I still love that. That's what I love about it.
I think that's what I love about Twitter, is that these people they love what they're doing, and they love to share, and they love to get involved in other stuff. Like, I'm meeting new people on Twitter every day. And the thing is, some of these people, they didn't like rock music before. So for them to say like, oh, what is this? And I'm like, it's rock music. Oh, but like I hear, Bruno Mars or whatever that, and that's rock. And it's like, no, it's because I think what's happening in North America is that music is evolving to what, yeah, just the main, like you said, the mainstream want to hear, which is most of the population. I can't say most of the population because I love rock, but I mean, but then when they hear stuff like that I'm putting out or Jay's putting out, that's really good. Oh yeah, like 12 Years Today band, Bradley Marsh band, or these other groups that we've mentioned also, and they're like, that's really awesome. Oh man, I'm just wondering how come our stuff ain't getting shared there? You know what I mean? Because I think you have places like Twitter. Why can't you have that with the whole radio community? Rock 95, all these other radio stations. You got the Wolf and stuff like that. Bring all this music into the table, man, because there's a lot of good, really talented independent artists out there. I mean, that's really talented.
That's how it used to happen back in the day anyway. It was a case that DJs would get hold of a 7-inch single from somebody, they play it, other DJs would hear that, they'd send it on. So imagine back in like the 50s or 60s when it's like you'd have to ring in to your local radio station, with the old phones like that.
And
have you got bop boppily bop? I don't know. I can't think of a song from the 50s, just make it up as I go along.
Mm-hmm.
And if they didn't have it that week, if they didn't have the track that week, it's because they've sent it down the road.
Yeah.
But there you go. Yeah, easier nowadays, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm. Well, what I'm seeing here, it's funny, is that all the genres are lumped into one category. So with these radio stations and stuff, but what I'm seeing a lot of people say now is with all the independent art that's coming out, we're all classified as alternative.
Yeah.
So why not bring a new radio station, and just call it alternative, and then you have the wave of all this music coming in, like new pop, new rock music, which is us, right? New independent rock, new indie, industrial, new metal, and have it all into the alternative radio station, because that's what we're all considered. You know what I mean?
That's what that's what I do.
Really. Exactly. So we should have some mainstream alternative,
Yeah, obviously in indie rocks radio, so obviously we emphasis on the rocks. It is definitely on the rocks, but my show is music from an alternative angle, not rock, but music from an alternative angle. So I can venture over. Although I do kind of draw the line on certain things, like I'm not right. I'll be completely honest now. I don't hate thrash metal. I don't hate it.
Yeah.
But it's a bit loud and
it's not your cup of tea.
It's not my cup of tea. I don't hate it, but it's one of those things that I've said before. I can't understand a word anyone's saying.
Yeah.
And to put it on my show completely throws the emphasis off anybody else's thing. And it's I try and get a progression of like of songs to play in a row. So you can sort of chill. I could have a day where I'll start off heavy and then sort of gradually slow down and then build it back up again. Now, where would you put a thrash metal track? Would you start the evening like and here's something and suddenly
Slayer or yeah. So what is thrash metal even considered? Is it just fast guitars all yelling like that? That's what I got out of it here. Like, is that what thrash metal is? Like,
I guess I'd say it's the very, very fast guitar licks, non-stop riffs, drums, and then a guy picks up a microphone and shoves it halfway down his throat. And that's what it sounds like. I mean, I've not got a problem with that. People do that in a lot of songs, but throughout, it's like I can't understand it. And sometimes it draws me out, which is what frustrates me because I'm not going to say it was because honestly, I'm not going to sound rude here. I can't remember who somebody sent me one recently, or at least a link to a YouTube video. The music was just great, and the music video was really good as well.
Yeah.
And it just the lyrics just like I had the lyrics. I was reading the lyrics because they were on YouTube video underneath. So I was reading the lyrics. I thought, wow, profound lyrics, really, really good. But it was the way he was doing it, like I was like, oh man, come on. It sounded like Scooby-Doo had an aneurysm. And it's like, oh
yeah,
I
exactly.
feel really bad. But then, you know, I'm not gonna I said I wouldn't be bad about music. I'll edit this bit
it's
out.
fine.
I'll edit
It's fine.
No one will ever know.
Yeah.
No, but it's fine, mate. Each to their own, as it is. But
we all have our tastes, you know, like that's the thing. Yeah.
It does make sense, funnily enough, on a topic that was sort of popped up on Twitter this afternoon, because somebody has said to me, oh, you know, no wonder Gene Simmons says rock is dead. Well, obviously, if Bruno Mars is winning an award for rock, and everyone around him's like, he's not rock, it's no wonder.
And it's not. Yeah,
no wonder and Gene Simmons thinks rock is dead, but then he's not looking to the independent market anyway, is he? So
yeah, you know what I think it is, honestly, and it's because new artists are making new things, and that's what basically these radio places, MTV, all these mainstream stations, they're seeing that. And then you got Guns N' Roses, okay? Like, this is an example of why rock hasn't evolved in our favor, is because look at the last record that Guns N' Roses made was probably in the 80s. You know what I mean? They have not released a new album since then. So what has happened is...
sure they did recently, and everyone said it was crap.
Well, I think it's still old, though. You know what I mean? It's still years and years old, where these pop, I'm going to call Bruno Mars more pop based, because they're popular. They're always making new music. Like, there's a new song out next month.
Yeah.
And I think that's why a lot of us become independent, because there's no, you know what I mean? There's not much of an audience here.
Yeah.
Which is hard to say, because I go to concerts. I still go see these rock concerts, and they're packed. But the thing is, they've been well known for years.
Yeah.
So for Joe Blow like me to come out and try to get like known, it's a lot of work, right?
Plus,
I've even heard
MTV doesn't even play music anymore. You know.
Yeah, it's just evolved. Everything's evolved.
Stop calling it MTV. Just don't call it MTV anymore. Just call it reality TV or something.
Or popular mainstream music.
Catfish TV.
Television.
Catfish rerun TV.
Yeah.
Crazy.
But what I can say is that it's really... this is probably something, I don't know if you've heard this too. They're talking about the charging Twitter, because how a lot of us are able to use it to gain, because we're gaining from it, the independent artists, because of how open-minded the people are on there.
They are going for a new thing called Twitter Blue, which I'm aware of. It sounds daft, but they offer apparently a faster customer service support and an undo button.
Undo?
An undo button. So I think
that was a bad twit. I'm gonna undo that.
Yeah. So if I don't know whether that's the edit button that everyone's been asking for, but it could be something like, imagine if like a mainstream artist come up and says something really stupid, gets lots of really bad responses. They can just go undo because they're on premium. But somebody like you and me be like, think I'd have to delete that and probably my Twitter.
Yeah.
Hence the reason why I don't write stupid crap anymore. Although I might screw up at some point. We're only human at the end of the day.
Yeah.
But there you go. So briefly, we've mentioned so as you said, we've mentioned your writing partner, which is Jason Petrolia of 12 Years Today. The fact you've known each other since high school. We've given him as praise. Go on.
He likes to prefer himself as a ghost. Like he just likes to be known as the producer and stuff like that. But I gotta say someone who wrote it. Like he did write the guitars, so he did write. Yeah. So it's 50-50. We both put our thing in, but like just how amazing it compacted, because like sitting in the studio, we'd be there and he'd be like, oh fuck, I liked how you did that and whatever. That's the thing too, is that I like when you find that co-writer that works so well with you with rock music, it's almost like you bounce off each other. You know what I mean? You'd be like, okay, I saw that. Go do that again. You could have done it better. You know what I mean? And I'm like, yeah, I could have done it better. Whereas if I were to do that on my own, on my lonesome, or with somebody who didn't have the critiquing he does, you know, the music would just sound like crap. It would be like, oh yeah, that's the take. That's the take. It's done and whatever. So
he still keeps it positive though, doesn't he?
Yeah. To work with each other, it's just great. I don't even know what to really call the genre of music that we've created. I'm gonna say heavy alternative rock. It's different.
Yeah,
like
I'd say it's I'd go with heavy alternative metal.
Yeah, I'd say we're metal. Yeah, it's a little. We're very different. I can say that we're different from 12 Years Today. They have a different sound than us and stuff like that. So,
however, there are similarities that I can spot.
Yeah.
So that's not a bad thing, though, because it means you play them together. Everything's cool.
Is that in the guitaring or just the music in general, like as a whole?
Let me see. So, Axe the Rebellion was the first track he sent me of yours.
Yeah, that was the debut track.
And I've already played that on Tilt, so thank you for that. Well, we'll talk about that briefly in a second. But yeah, that was the first track he sent me from you, because he said, "Oh, I've been working with this guy, and would you like to have a listen?" So I said, "Yeah." I put it on. I thought, yeah, I could tell Jay done the guitar on that. And
yeah, he's got his signature right there. Yeah,
that's exactly it. So yeah, it's definitely got a signature style to it. But obviously everything's different because we've briefly obviously chatted back and forth through Twitter because it's great. And I'm actually on your bio on Spotify, aren't I?
Yeah, exactly. You wrote an amazing bio. That's awesome. So we have that up there. So if you guys are on my Spotify, be sure to check out that. Rich wrote the bio for it, and I loved it. It clicked. So
because obviously the before obviously you did Act of Rebellion's quite a strong song, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Because it was funny. Oh, sorry.
I'm sorry.
I'm terrible.
That's fine, mate. Because of past influences and things, and obviously changes in your current situation, everything sort of gets into that song, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm. It was funny when I wrote that song. When I was writing it, I was actually watching Walking Dead. I love that's the thing with me too. I love a lot of film and stuff like that. So The Walking Dead, X-Files and things like that. But I was watching The Walking Dead, and I know that for me, my family were Christian, and we just I thought, you know what? I hear a lot of heavy music, but it's all about like evil and things like that, things that I'm not interested in. Like I'm not interested in like dark stuff and things like that. And I thought, you know what? Why not make a song that's so friggin' heavy about God and put it out there for people that are also like Christian and stuff like that. So like I that's what I did. But there is themes of it from The Walking Dead, because of course that's what I was watching when I wrote Axe of Rebellion. This is a funny thing too. He never answers his Twitter because he's so famous, but I actually sent the song to Norman Reedus.
Oh yeah,
who plays Daryl in The Walking Dead. He never got back to me or anything. And it's funny, Andrew Lincoln, he doesn't use Twitter. It's all bots and whatever, right? So I was like, I can't send it to him because I know he's not actually on there in person. So I thought of sending it to him, but I haven't heard anything back from him, whether they liked it or not. But
there's still time.
Yeah, there's still time, but that was the main
theme. They're supposed to be doing a spin-off with Daryl and Carol. So
I heard that. Yeah.
That could be used in the show.
Who knows? Yeah,
that'd be cool.
I wrote.
You're listening to it on a little show called Tilt Radio. No. That'll never happen. But yeah, it's always fun and think. But tonight, tonight, or here, and obviously on the radio this evening, we are going to be playing your new track.
Yep, so we've got a lot of new stuff coming out. This is the big news for you guys. There's a new single going to be released on June 15th, which is called Work of Fiction, and it's also a really heavy metal track, which is a lot of people are actually coming to me more for the metal. We did release it's almost like an alternative rock song recently. Yeah. It's called Strength of Rebellion. If you haven't Strength of Rebellion. Let me go back. We'll cut that out. Strength to Overcome. Yeah. And and it hasn't been doing well. So it seems like a lot of people really are liking the really, really heavy stuff that we have put out. Mm-hmm. So I'm really, really excited for you guys to hear Work of Fiction and see what you get out of that. But not only that, at the very, very end of the month, so it'll be July 1st, the full EP in its disclosure is coming out, and it will be entitled Purity. So that will be coming out as well.
And we've got a couple of snippets of those now, haven't we?
Oh yeah.
So
6. Let's got little teasers here for you.
should we tease them a bit, shall we?
Yeah, let's tease them a bit.
Oh yeah, let's just do it. So this is Work of Fiction, which is due. Say that again.
June 15th.
June 15th.
Yeah.
And here is a teaser of that. Badass, man. So that's good. That's
the gravy stuff everybody's going for. Cool. I'm thinking that'll be the approach with this band too, is because of how Acts of Rebellion did so. Like I didn't expect it to blow up that huge. In fact, this is true. I actually contacted Spotify myself. I'm like, is there something wrong? They're like, what do you mean? Like, what do you mean something's wrong? And I'm like, well, the song surpassed like 2,000 views already. It's still increasing like an incredible amount. And he's like, no, this is all legit. And they showed me playlists. Apparently that's a thing. Also for you independent artists, if you want to know this, apparently there's playlist sharing on Twitter, and people add your music to these playlists or popular playlists, and then that's how they get these views. Of course, you want to stay away from all the fake Jordan that's out there, but
stay away from the.
Stay away. Don't pay anybody anything. Just do it. Yeah. But what's been going on? That's how it blew up. Is that a few people really digged it that had these playlists that were popular, and they put it on, and then people would listen to every track on those playlists, and then they got streams, and I was like, holy shit.
I'm trying to get the actual amount of plays up, but it's not having a bar of it on my phone at the moment.
Yeah.
But it's nice to know that Twitter actually Spotify actually get back to you.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
they're a bit back and forth.
We're just being passive aggressive here on that, but those that have tuned in that know what we're talking about. Yeah. Let me see. Let's have a look, shall we? Have a live look at the moment. So 5,974 monthly listeners. So that's not bad at all. Mm-hmm. Jesus, Acts of Rebellion, 14,203.
Yeah, I was honestly blown away. Like it was almost like it was unbelievable. I'm like, because I'm a bad critic. Well, we both are as the writers, right? We're just like bad critics, like something doesn't add up or whatever. But yeah, they showed me that was the statistics that came from different source, different playlist sources. There was one called Thrash or something like that. I was like, I don't really find my music thrash, but whatever. Like if it fit in with the metal.
Would that be thrash out on Twitter?
It was listed on there. That was one of the playlists, and then it was a pile similar to that.
Those guys are very supportive of my show as well, so they're fantastic as well. So shout out.
Yeah, they're great. They message me all the time, and they're like, "Oh man, that was awesome. When's your next metal song?" Right? So exactly. I think that'll what I've been getting from this is it's all a learning curve this year, and I think this should be for every artist too. Is like, okay, if you see what people like, that's what you create more of. Mm-hmm. Not to say that it's all going to be the same, but like that, you know, where the tastes are at, right? So now that I know, okay, well, the tastes seem to be more, and even in this, I show people in person, you know, family members and stuff. I'll have like 10 people, just people I know deep down, mm-hmm. and I'll show them my music, stuff that hasn't even been released yet, and I'll be like, what do you like? What do you dig? What do you fancy? I'm like, Axe Rebellion. That was number one. Work of Fiction, which is the one that's going to be released very, very shortly. So stuff that's really heavy. So I'm like, I love it. I love it. I think what a lot of people are liking with bands like my band and the 12 Years Today band is the peaceful, like that really nice singing voice, and then the darkness, because every artist has darkness. So like, obviously I have a story, and then his singer has a story to tell about our lives or things that are going on, right? And so people can tune and listen to that song and be like, hey, I can relate to that. You know, like I've had
thing though, isn't it? I mean, this is where
you get goosebumps, you know, just from hearing a song. Yeah.
So many. I've always thought that if you play a song and you get and it resonates through you,
exactly. Yeah.
Then you've reached somebody in a way that, you know, other things can't. There's so many songs out there that just bring me to tears, and there are some that just get me pumped. You know, that's the great thing about music. You can
awesome.
always find a tune to put on, no matter what mood you're in. Even when you're in your darkest of moods, you don't have to put on something to make you feel better, because some of the times you could put on some really dark like heavy metal, and that could make you feel better. You know, and that's what's great about it, and that's what I love.
It's a resonating experience. And the thing is, and that's kind of why I wrote Axe the way it is, because I thought, well, you know, like there's so much hate and so much bad blood and bad shit going on in this world. If I can take something like and write a song about, you know, the big guy, Jesus, and write a song about him and have that resonate, and then people get goosebumps from that, then that's awesome. You know, like, so like, that's what I really wanted to do. But not only that, with the full record as a whole, which is coming out, I'd like to talk a bit about that. The vibe that I wanted to promote through it is that you're not alone. You know, when it comes to mental illness, you know, you've lost a family member, or you have PTSD, or you have all these issues and things like that. You're not alone. You know what I mean? There's people there that love you, respect you, and care for you. So this is basically my Purity. The album is my story. It's my life story of things that have happened to me, people that I've lost. You know what I mean? So Work of Fiction is all about like my sin. So it's all about like things that have happened in my life where I was down a dark path. Like, and back in the day, I really was like growing up. I met the wrong crowds. I was heavily into drugs and things like that. I had a bad addiction. Like my addiction was mainly into alcohol and just prescription pills and things like that. Like just anything I could get my hands on. Actually, it's similar to, it's funny because I watched a documentary on this guy. I'm not heavily into his art, but they were in the punk scene. It was Gerard Way from My Chemical Romance. Because back in the day, like AFI, he was actually a punk band. I've even told people this. Like, if you heard their very first record, it's heavy as shit. So like to see like these guys where they seem all happy and bubbly on stage and they're connecting with their audience, you know, like you got groups like that. Like I could even familiarize My Chem with Billy Talent. Like, you know, like they're all bubbly, but then they have a dark side. Yeah. And it's like nobody knows the dark side.
They have a mask, right? Don't they? They wear
exactly.
It's all an act at the end of the day.
Yeah, it's all acting. Like you got famous people too, you know, Robin Williams and stuff like that. Like people that are so happy to get your kids going, everybody's going, but they have their flaws. Like just like any one of us do.
Any
You know
human
what I
being,
mean?
mate, yeah.
Exactly.
I mean,
Yeah.
I can relate. I'm not going to go into it too much, but yeah, I can relate. Some very, very dark times this end. Funnily enough, two things I've kept with me during the dark times is a sense of humor and
Yeah.
a love for music, really.
Exactly. And it keeps you going. It gets you out in the morning, you know,
Yeah,
like
because like you know, I love films as well, and but you can sit and still be disappointed watching a film, can't you?
yeah, you can. Yeah.
Plus,
Yeah.
you've got to wait like almost 2 hours for it to finish to go. Yeah, that was crap. Whereas if a song finishes, it's 4 minutes. You're like, it wasn't bad, and then you might play it again and it'll grow on you. But you know, like I'll give you an example of movies. Like someone said, "Oh, have you ever watched American Psycho?" It's like I finally got around to watching it, and it's like, this is boring. Oh no, watch it again. So you know, I gave it a couple of years because I thought, you know, I'm a bit more seasoned in myself now. I'll watch it again because maybe I watched it when I was too young, and I sat down and was like, I don't get it. This is just bad. I just found it so boring. But
yeah.
each to their own, as we say.
Yeah, exactly.
So
like and
go on. There you go.
And the thing is, like, if you have stuff that sticks with you and it makes you feel better, that's where it is. Like when for me, like I'm a big gamer. I like gaming. So like I go into my own little world when I'm playing and stuff, and then it just relaxes me and stuff like that. But yeah, like just like the stuff that I was mentioning before, like if you have stuff that really speaks to you, then do it. It's almost like our minds, you know what I mean? Like, oh man, I'm craving this, eat it. I'm craving to hear that, listen to it. That's your mind telling you. And that's what my whole album is about, is mind over matter. Is because when your mind is telling you to do something, you need to do it because it's telling you that that's what it's craving and that's what's going to keep you going. That's what's going to, you know, get you home at the end of the day. Have a good night's sleep.
Yeah. Shall we give them the other sneak peek of Purity then?
Oh yeah, so this is my personal favorite track on the whole album, and this is the title track, Purity.
And this is due out. They'll be on the full EP.
This will be on July 1st. This is the full EP. So that was the big news for you guys. I hope you really dig the whole record, start to finish. Yeah, it's been crazy. It was funny because originally we wanted to write a full album, but nobody does albums anymore. That was what my co-writer producer had also said. He's like, keep it short and sweet. So we wanted to have a story, a lot to do with my life, a lot to do with my influence, things like that. And so that's what this is. It's a 6-track EP. So I hope you guys dig it. Check out Purity.
Before I press play as well, everyone, I just let you all know that it's such a sneak peek. Not even I've been handed the full EP yet. So
he hasn't even heard this yet. This is brand new.
Here we go. Here we go.
Here you go. Hell yeah.
That sounds good. Well,
gotta love that.
We're looking forward to that.
Oh, hell yeah.
July 1st. And there's no way anyone else on this Zoom is going to get that early, no?
Nope, no early. So nope, this is just a little taste.
I tried to get Unveiled out of the other two early and they said no.
Yeah.
Props to you for sticking to your guns, but
I didn't even get it early. Yeah, I wanted to hear it before then. Yeah, it's funny because I mean, obviously, I go to him for the productions and all that. I go there and he'd show me like little things. Like he wouldn't show me enough, though. You know what I mean? He's like, oh yeah, listen to this. Oh, that's enough. And I'm like, what do you mean? Oh, it's not out yet. It's not out yet. You're gonna have to wait till it's out, right?
Yeah.
One thing I can say though, even before we cut, the one thing I can say that really brought us together, like this, you listen to the music and how it's made, like. Look at how beautiful his work is. Like the percussion, nice and loud, solid. It resonates through the speakers.
Yeah.
The guitars, nice, clean, nice tone. Like every little aspect of it,
You
right?
hear every beat of the drum as well.
Every beat of it. I think the only thing that's new that we haven't incorporated in our side, because I don't know, I haven't heard every single song that their band has done, but I think like, okay, what would it sound with a little bit of keyboard, with just like stuff added to it as extra sound. I think that would be something that maybe if we do a next record, if we do another EP or whatever, that would be an interesting take. Yeah.
Always remember though, keep things minimal though, because adding too much can.
Oh yeah. No over add, just enough. You know what I mean? Just a little bit. Yeah. And I'll keep it heavy because everybody wants it heavy. So always. I think I'm just gonna keep going heavy, man. Yeah.
Yeah. Sweet. Oh, so there we are. We're up to date. That's two big pieces of news. Are you sure? You sure I can't get it early?
You can't get it early, man.
I'll send you a mug.
You get a mug? Oh yeah.
I've got mugs and I've got t-shirts. Could I get it early?
Shirt.
Well, they're not bad actually. Yeah. This is a 3XL because I did tell you I've not been at the gym in a year. So
I haven't been myself, man. It's just
you don't need to go.
I know. I'm skinny.
Yeah. Check it out in a minute. Can you see the back?
Yeah. Oh, cool. You got something done on there. Hashtag tilt. Nice.
Well, yes,
what does it say fully? Tilt something?
It's that
says on here too, eh? Oh, nice.
The light Tilt Legion.
Nice.
So I need to start getting those sorted. I've got them ready for people to go. Just sorting prices out and stuff, and postage and packaging. That's not even a word. Packaging. Yeah, that'll be cool. Get those sent out. So
awesome.
What we'll do, we'll say goodbye to everybody now.
Bye.
Don't forget, you can tune in to, not tune in, sorry. Obviously, Axe of Rebellion is available on all digital platforms now, as is Strength to Overcome. Don't ignore that one because it is good.
Yeah, and that one just came out fresh out of the book. So that one came out June 5th. Mm-hmm. So I hope you guys dig that one. Give that one some love because it's not getting as much favor as Axe, but we'll see what we can get out of it.
Cool. And we'll catch you again when the next few come about.
Hell yeah.
So from me here, Richard at Tilt, good night.
Night, guys.
Go.
The Tilt Interview.